I'd like to call this governing board of the Lammersville Unified School District to order at 7 o'clock. Just as a reminder, this meeting is being recorded, so please silence or turn off your cell phone. I'd like to ask everyone to rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call, please.
Matthew Balzerini.
Here.
Colin Clements.
Here.
And Goodrich.
Here.
Sharon Lampel.
Here.
David Pombo.
Here.
Simran Gunsi.
Here.
Moving on to item 4, recognition, 2018 retirements. We have 2 retirements this year. Rick DeHoyas, who worked for the district for over 22 years and had almost 30 years of teaching service to his credit. He retired, and also Mary Brawley, who is here, who had over 18 years of teaching experience with the district. And we'd like to honor them at this time.
I thought you were going to dance. This is all for you. You can dance. We would love the entertainment. Where do I go?
You're going to go right to the middle and do it.
Okay.
Item 5, approval and/or corrections to the agenda.
There are none. Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Sharon beat you by a hair.
Fine. She can have it.
Committee, sorry about that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A momentary lapse there. Apologies, folks. Committee reports. Facilities Committee. I'm happy to report that after much back and forth, we have reached an agreement with the CSD on a pool program, which is slated to begin next Monday. I'm very happy, as I believe the rest of the board is, that we will have the community enjoying our pool this summer. Do you have anything to add, Director?
No, sir. Thank you.
Moving on to governing board reports. Madam Student Trustee Gunsi.
I don't have anything to report since school's over.
You? Trustee Goodrich.
The only thing I have to report is that I wanted to inform my fellow trustees and President Pombo that I will be absent at the next board meeting on July 18th due to family travel.
You? Trustee Clements.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Trustee Balzerini.
Nothing to report.
Trustee Lampel.
Only that I did go to the last CSD meeting with President Pombo, gave them an update on some of the things that are going on in our district, and President Pombo and I did discuss the progress on the pool negotiations at that time.
Thank you. And as Trustee Lampel just mentioned, we went to the CSD meeting, and also the entire board went to the Employee of the Year dinner a couple of weeks ago and honored a couple of our employees, a teacher, Chris Olson, and a classified Heather Corman. We were very proud and very excited to see them honored by the county. Thank you. Item 8, receiving of public comments. Board shall give members of the public an opportunity to address the board either before or during the board's consideration of each agenda item. At a time so designated on the agenda, members of the public may also bring before the board matters that are not listed on the agenda of a regular meeting. The board may refer such a matter to the superintendent or designee or take it under advisement, but shall not take action at that time. The board may place the matter on the agenda of a subsequent meeting for discussion or action. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. I see no one rising for public comment, so we will move on to item 9, consent items for consideration. Governing board meeting minutes from the regular meeting of June 6th, ratification of contracts under $25,000, ratification of hires for the 2018-2019 school year, ratification of resignations, updated 2018-2019 fundraisers, budget revisions and warrants, and declaration of surplus equipment. Would any of the board like to pull any of these items for further discussion or table anything, or do I have a motion?
I will move to approve consent items for consideration. I do have one comment and one question, but I don't think it warrants pulling anything out. I don't know if anybody else.
I'll second.
My comment is thank you very much to district staff for once again putting the changes to the budgets, putting the numerical values next to each one. I feel much better informed in reading that. I know that that's just one more rock in your backpack, but I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. My question is on consent items for consideration. One of the items is the monitor for the boardroom. Is that then contingent? Because we also have the whole package as an item, as an agenda item to be voted on. And if it's voted down, would that cancel that contract?
Well, I get the simple answer is we have to upgrade the equipment, which is the other item. And if we didn't have the TV screen, we would have to go back off of one of these.
I'm not questioning.
So
it was a procedural thing for me that we even state in the consent items that it's linked to the proposal, and so my only question is and I guess it's probably a moot point, but it's procedural.
It was kind of a choose to versus have to with the upgrades. I think that's how we were looking at it. So that,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I'm hearing an ocean above us, which is why I was smiling. And I don't know if we have a. Oh. Okay. For those of us with ADD, I was struggling. Were you hearing it? I was like hearing waves crashing. Sorry.
It was just a question on how that works.
I really enjoyed your question, Trustee Clements.
Thank you. Having a first and a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent items carry. Trustee Lampel, you're up.
Thank you. So, of course, I'm on the wrong page. There we go. So we would like to welcome the following new employees to our Lammersville family. Elizabeth Abadillo, food service worker. Poonam Badwaj, math teacher. Paul Bennett, special education teacher. Cheyenne Canada, health teacher. Cindy Garrido, self-contained classroom teacher. Jayoti Dalmeda, food service worker. Stephanie Gale, library technician. Cynthia Goosen, speech language pathologist. Cassandra Gestrine, physical education teacher. Kalmajit Panu, elementary vice principal. And Crystal Thomas, special education teacher.
Welcome all. Moving on to item 10, District Administrative Report, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Nicholas?
So I have a couple of brief announcements, and I have some pictures and an update from a tour we took this afternoon at Hanson to give kind of a project update. And so this is the outside of the quad area in between what would be the outside of the multi-use room and the classroom wing. And that will turn into, the dirt will turn into grass with sod by this time next week, I was told. This is from the second floor, looking at it in two different directions, one towards the northwest and one towards the south. It just gives you an idea of classroom views. Actually, that would be the east on the one on the right. This is what a typical classroom looks like. If you notice on the left, in the middle of the wall, our 21st century classroom technology, which is approved by the board with the TV screens and Nova Pros and stuff. That's all the kind of the inside the wall stuff that's going to go there. This is one of the science rooms, and the gentleman in the yellow vest is our architect, Wes King. We had a picture with Mr. Harrison, but it didn't fit on the screen, so we...
Oh, that was bad.
This is the makerspace on your left, looking through the opening, and the Learning Commons / library to the right, both the same facility in the same space.
It's right there.
I know. I'm sorry. I couldn't. If it wasn't summer, I wouldn't have said it. And this is the main office, looking from going into the back of the desk and what people will see when they come in the door to be met with our receptionist.
Wait,
Okay.
could you go back?
Yeah.
I have a question. What's on the other side of that window?
It's a nursing station. All right, so the next thing, that's the end of the tour of Hanson. I'm going to pass out this flyer. But on July 13th and 14th,
Yeah, we think we know him.
Lammersville is represented well at CSBA Leadership Institute 2018. It's in San Francisco, so we wanted to, brag about Trustee Balzerini and his role in safety and educating other school board members across the state, but also if anyone was interested in attending, we are taking interested parties and we'll be setting up accommodations. You can let Noel know via email or... but I know I'm going.
It used to be a no, but something moved, so now it's a maybe.
Okay.
And I am planning to go.
Okay.
I will be out of town.
Guessing Trustee Balzerini will be there.
I'll be
Okay, and then finally, and this just started moving today, the Peter Hansen School grand opening celebration. So the contractor is throwing a big barbecue on July 26th. So we thought because there's already going to be a celebration going on, we could piggyback onto that with a ribbon cutting ceremony and open house for people to come and walk through the facility. So what we're informing the board of today, because it just literally started happening today, is there's a contractor luncheon, which all of the board members and our district staff will be invited to, and then we would like to piggyback on that in the 2 to 4 range, where we would have the ribbon cutting ceremony and then open up the school for people to walk through. So that's just a concept right out of the chute, but they started finalizing this today.
thing that opened up the leadership was moved to that date, so I can't go that date.
And I will be actually in school at that time. Unless something changes. So I would be there in the afternoon late.
Does your thing last through the evening or something in the afternoon?
Just during work hours.
All right, well, if we can't get everybody there, we could always do a different time for a ribbon cutting. Just, we thought, okay, well, they're having a barbecue and everyone's been invited, and if everyone's there, let's...
I would love to be able to be there. I would like it if my school started later.
I like to go to these things, but I don't want to hold up the whole thing if it's just me.
Yeah, exactly. Same with me.
We'll, okay, so we'll talk and figure it, okay. Well, thank you.
I could be there.
I'll be there.
Just something that doesn't really have anything to do with it, except it is Hanson School. I drove around Hanson School a few days ago. I occasionally drive around there and check on the how they're coming along with the school. And Superintendent Nicholas and I met with the developers of Hanson probably 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I'm not sure of the exact time. And we discussed safety around the school, crosswalks and stop signs and all that stuff. And to my recollection, it doesn't look as though all of that stuff is in place yet, whether that's because they just haven't gotten to it yet or what, but I would like to request that staff dust off that old paperwork and see if the conditions of that are being met.
And I drove around there on Saturday because I hadn't been over there in a little while. And what a beautiful, majestic building it really turned out to be. Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll be done.
Thank you. District Maintenance and Operations Report, Mr. LeGrand.
Good evening. Excuse my grubby attire. I've been putting gym finish on the high school all day, so I apologize. I have actually got a little bit on my shirt.
Duly
So
noted.
summer cleaning is going well at all the school sites. As I mentioned, we're doing the main gym, the high school today. I got 2 coats on. I got to put one more coat on tonight before I leave. It takes about 2.5 hours to put a coat on, so it's going to be a late night. In between coats today, I went to the Hanson construction meeting, and you saw the progress there. Yesterday, I walked the site with the furniture delivery company and talked about logistics. Their furniture is coming on July 16th, so about 3 weeks from now. Monday, I walked all the maker spaces at the Cuesta, Altamont, Wickland, and Bethany to talk about construction stuff and flooring, new flooring. I should have some quotes in the next day or two for that project. Last Wednesday, I met with our HVAC vendor, and we're going to restructure. It's been an series of ongoing meetings. We're going to restructure our preventive maintenance that we do in our, our units, and we're going to save minimum $20,000 next year in costs to the district. So that's a good thing. And then last Tuesday, I met with Brightview and Thorne. I met with Brightview and talked about a new contract with them and some projects we have outstanding with them that we want to get done this summer. Tomorrow, I'm walking all the sites with the company rep that does the bottle filling stations, looking at installing those. He says it's going to take 4 or 5 hours. Hopefully, it doesn't take 4 or 5 hours, but that's what he said it's going to take. So I blocked out that time on my calendar. And camera project update, all the sites are complete. The request was made by a couple of sites to add cameras inside the multis, and we're going to be able to do that. It's well within our budget. And the request was made by Thor yesterday to add a couple cameras at the pool, so we're going to do that. And then we met with Joel, and Sean and I met with Joel and talked about the high school, and there are a couple of blind spots he's concerned about, and we're going to add cameras there as well to take care of those issues, all within budget, and we're still under budget at this point. So and that's pretty much all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I know it's a busy time of year for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Item 11, consider approval of 2018-2019 intra-district transfer requests. Staff report?
None.
Move to approve 2018-2019 intra-district transfer requests.
Second.
Further discussion by the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, consider approval of contract with Delta Bluegrass to repair Altamont Elementary School fields. Cost not to exceed $32,508. Staff report?
Yeah, we identified this as one of the fields used by the community and the school that needs some repairs, and this money would come out of the contingency that's left over from the preschool project.
I'll move for approval of a contract with Delta Bluegrass to repair the Altamont Elementary School fields not to exceed $32,508.
Second.
Further questions or comments by the board? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, consider approval of 2018-2019 Local Controlled Accountability Plan, LCAP. Staff report?
Yeah, real quick. Items C through G represent some major big projects done by staff in this board. If you look at it, the LCAP, facilities use, wellness, the budget, and the CONAP. So I think it's time to take a moment and everybody who's sitting at this dais and everybody who's sitting at this audience, this is a lot of hard work, and that protects the interests of the district, and everybody deserves a kudos. So I thought I'd just take my staff report and say kudo.
Ditto.
I was going to say exactly that. I know how hard the staff has worked on all of these plans. This is a huge amount of work. So thank you, staff. We rely on you for a lot of very hard work, and you always perform for us.
I agree with a big thank you to all staff. I know everybody that worked on this may not be here, but thank you to everyone that did work on these things. And I would also like to thank the members of our committees that worked on these various handbooks and plans and so on and so forth. Thank you to everyone. So I
Move to approve the 2018-2019 Local Control Accountability Plan.
Second.
further questions or comments by the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, consider approval of the 2018-2019 Facilities Use Rental Handbook.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, consider approval of the 2018-2019 Wellness Plan.
So moved. Second.
Discussion or comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, consider approval of 2018-2019 July 1st Budget Financials Report.
Move to approve 2018-2019 July 1st Budget Financials Report.
Second, with a big thank you.
Questions or comments by the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item G, approval of the 2018-2019 Consolidated Application for Funding.
Move to approve 2018-2019 Consolidated Application for Funding.
Second.
Discussion by the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item H, consider approval of Governing Board Resolution 171814 regarding the 2018-2019 Educational Protection Account. Staff report?
Yeah, this is an LCFF requirement. We do it annually, and it says that for the targeted funds that we spent them on the target designated.
Move to approve Governing Board Resolution 17-18-14 regarding the 2018-2019 Education Protection Account.
Second.
Questions or comments by the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Roll call, please.
Matthew Balzerini.
Aye.
Colin Clements.
Aye.
Aaron Goodrich.
Aye.
Sharon Lampel.
Aye.
David Pombo.
Aye. Item L, consider approval. Item I, consider approval of second reading and adoption of updated board policies and administrative regulations. Staff report?
This is the second read and formal approval after having a first read and review period.
Very happy to move for the approval of the second reading and adoption of the updated board policies and administrative regulations.
Second.
Discussion?
Just my thanks to Mr. Miller for all the hard work.
Thank you to Mr. Miller and also to the policy committee for their hard work in bringing this to us in a form that was easy to read, and so we can now vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. President, I do have one additional comment. I liked the way that we did this. I think that really works. Giving it to us and then, I think that works. Okay.
I would also like to say, we just approved hundreds of pages of documents for the district, and I want to make a comment if anybody is watching this for the first time. These are not the first time. This is not the first time that we've read these documents. We've had a lot of time to go over them. They've all been, they've all appeared to the board either as an informational item, a first reading. So we don't take passing of all of these very lightly.
No, all of these, in fact, almost everything on tonight's agenda are things that we've been working on for months and months, and this is just the final step in those processes.
Thank you to Trustee Lampel and Trustee Pombo for pointing that out. To somebody who's watching a board meeting for the very first time, it may look like we passed 400 or 600 pages worth of stuff without a comment, and that is absolutely the way it works.
You are the furthest thing in the world from a rubber stamp.
And I had a first and a second, but I do not believe we voted yet. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Sorry.
Motion carries. No problem. Item J, consider approval of contract with AVI SPL for the boardroom technology upgrades not to exceed $81,906.45. Staff report?
Yeah, so we've had some hiccups with the technology here as it's aging. We bought it when they were, I think the term is mid-cycle already. You couple that with an audio problem at one meeting, and then 4 or 5 later, there's a visual problem. The microphones don't work very well. And then we had a friendly community rat get into the attic and eat part of one of the cameras.
But he smiled.
It's
That's
still
why he was
working,
friendly.
so he didn't get to the wires, but he's missing some plastic. So this is really long overdue. We stream to the community. We do a lot of professional development in here, and in certain instances have students in here. So this would benefit the education program, our board, and the community's communication.
I will gladly move to approve a contract with AVI SPL for boardroom technology upgrades not to exceed $81,906.45.
I'll second with one quick question, because I don't know if I saw it in here. Will these setups be addressed? Because these don't work either. I mean, the screens work, but the...
So,
Yeah? Okay.
simple as
Just
yes.
curious.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a deal breaker. That's why I seconded it.
And I would just like to say that I believe it is our intent and I guess our responsibility to see that our meetings are transmitted out to the public so that the public can see them either live or from the archived videos, so they can see what we are doing, how we are performing the business of the district here. And so I think it's very important that we have equipment that works for that purpose. Are there any more questions or comments by the
I
board?
would just say I think it's one of the best things that we've invested in as a board. So,
One last question. I apologize that I don't know the answer. Where do the funds for this come from? Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Having a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 12, calendar. Wednesday through February, July 4th through the 6th.
No, Wednesday through Friday, not Wednesday through February.
I was trying to give district staff a little extra time off. But,
That'll do it.
Wednesday, July 4th through Friday, July 6th the district office will be closed for Independence Day. Our next regularly scheduled governing board meeting will be July 18th.
Mr. President, I will not be at that meeting also, July 18th. I'll be on vacation.
So I guess the other three of us have to be here, so we have a quorum.
I'm in town.
I will definitely be here.
You. In just a moment, we will be adjourning to closed session where we will discuss employee discipline, dismissal, release, complaint, public employee appointment, employment, evaluation of superintendent, conference with real property negotiators.
Move to adjourn to closed session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are now adjourned to closed session. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Action on a motion by Trustee Clements and seconded by Trustee Balzerini to authorize the district superintendent to notify a custodian security 3 of release from his or her probationary position by the following vote. 5 ayes. The board took action on a motion by Trustee Clements and seconded by Trustee Lampel to authorize the district superintendent to notify an administrative assistant of release from his or her probationary position by the following vote. 5 ayes, no nays. The board further took action on a motion by Trustee Clements and seconded by Trustee Balzerini to authorize the district superintendent to notify a cafeteria commuter technician instructional aide of release from his or her probationary position by a vote of 5 ayes and no noes. That concludes my report.
Move to adjourn.
Second.